Antemedi takes me forward and introduces me to a female called Silana. She has very dark skin and black shiny hair. She wears a beige gold tunic with blue cuffs edged in gold braiding. She has a dark waistband. The trousers are the same material as her top. She wears a headband in the same colour, which has a silvery, reflective emblem embossed on the front.
We are the ambassadors of the Crescent Moon. It would be what you might call an educational foundation. The ambassadors are primarily female.
She offers me her arm so that I can take it. As I do so, I become aware of all sorts of unusual shapes and interlocking patterns. These dissipate as I focus on the fact that we are moving forward very quickly. On our left, we approach a bald-headed man with a beard. He nods in acknowledgement of our arrival. He gives his name as Akinara and guides us up 4 steps onto a white marble-like floor. It emanates some kind of energy. Several people, mostly female, are standing around a long table. Beyond the energetic marble floor and on all sides is parkland. There is a tall woman at one end of the long table, and at the other a man who asks for everyone to be quiet. He introduces himself as Anaha and starts by saying,
"There are many of you here today with preconceived ideas, and others of you with limited ideas of what's going on. We have not been called to be here. It is that our interests merge and we find ourselves together. For some of you, this is at your full present conscious level. For others, it is at higher levels with the information filtering to lower ones."
Interesting, because as I look around, some people are really engaged and some do not seem to be aware that they are here.
We all have an interest in the subject matter at hand. To an extent, it is a subject matter that matters to everyone: the enlightenment and evolution of man on Earth.
A holographic screen unfolds in front of me, and hand pads rise from the table. They have ergonomic mouldings so that my fingers and thumbs fit round them easily. I think of holograms in holograms, and at this point I lose consciousness, what I would call zonk out. When I return some while later, I initially become aware of the parkland surroundings. These seem incongruous with the place we are standing, a place of learning in the countryside. I remember that we were told some of us might have higher conscious awareness, but not necessarily full awareness at lower levels. This explains the reason for loss of consciousness. I can see holographic images beginning to form in front of each of us. In my hologram, I can see Anaha spinning a white basketball, which could be a planet. Then he tips his finger, and the axis seems to follow him. He even goes in a full circle with the ball beneath his finger.
I am demonstrating that attraction is different to gravitational fields. Attraction, or deflection, is to do with energetic resonance. That which is harmonious fits into that which is harmonious. This makes a harmony resonance. That which is out of resonance retreats away from source energy. Now then, it depends on where you consider the source energy to be. In this instance, it is my finger, one single point of energetic attraction. In reality, there are many points of attraction, some of which are greater than others. On one level, everyone that walks a planet in love and light is a point of attraction. You pull in energy and ground it. Not seen by many, but that does not mean it's not true. There is also a requirement for source energy.
The hologram now shows an open fire. Anaha places a dark sheet about 1.5 meters above it. The fire begins to dampen, as if the oxygen has been taken away. He is showing what happens when source energy is removed. A hologram of the planet returns, and it shows that no matter where he holds his finger, the planet remains in situ. The axis, or energy input, can change. The planet remains the same, but the finger moves the axis.
If all things are seen as intact, then it is by external influence they change, provided, of course, they have source energy. As I move my hand away, you can see that the energy, which resides in the sphere, is attracted to my finger, until it is not. With a point of focus, energies can be transmuted.
As I look back to the hologram, there appears to be a clear sheet of acetate or plastic. Upon this, there is a scene of universal space dotted with stars and star clusters. Another clear sheet is put over the top of this to show waves of energy, which seem to be in ribbons from left to right. Then they fold over one another to make circles, and then the circles form vortexes. The vortexes are shown to be everywhere. They are giving out energy in all directions. They appear as if they are mini spheres or torus shapes with energy emissions. Some seem to pulse on and off in different colours or vibrational harmonies.
The great flux.
My awareness returns to the energy we were in, the energy of the expanded sphere from the table. It's as if I'm still in that energetic sphere. Like the hologram explanation, there are small holes or points of emanation within the energy. It's all around me. I can see the differential flux going on and off. Some of these pulsating points expand energy in different ways and intensity. Some energetic interactions happen close by with neighbouring emanations. Others seem to expand their field or range of influence. As they expand, they also have points of interaction along their edges, like strange bubbles interacting with bubbles. Yet the vortexes, or points of emanation, still exist in great multitudes everywhere, inside and outside the bubbles. The multitude of emanations are like an energetic soup, within which the bubbles and the bubble interactions exist. It's an interesting way of comprehending different dimensions, layers and layers of interactions or dimensions in the same space. I'm encouraged to walk to the end of the table and stand next to Anahar, where a space is made for me.
Now Robert will tell you more.
But I am the student.
Let it flow. You don't have to know it in order to talk about it. You just need to connect to it, and your higher level understanding will exist in lower level understanding.
In front of me, I can see one of the bubbles. I feel compelled to place my fingers both on the left and right hand side, much like the first example of Anahar's basketball. The bubble begins to spin and rotate. Several more appear, and they all seem to rotate in different directions at the same time. Words come from within me. It's as if I knew in fullness, but in my human self I didn't know. To summarise, we have layers and overlayers of information. We started with energy attraction, complementary vibrations, flux, on, off, then energy points, creating vortexes which could vibrate and form most any bubble shape. The bubble shapes or harmonies can interact with other bubble shapes to form additional dimensional energy points or sparks. These new sparks of energy could also interact with similar points. Yet all levels existed within the energetic soup, all parts of one another, all pulsing at different rates. We can focus on all or one. If we do this, something remarkable happens. When we focus on any flux in any part of the energetic soup, we can be drawn into it, deeper and deeper, further inside towards the source, but not reaching it. We begin to experience the potential for all for it is undescribable. As our focus goes in, and it feels it should get smaller and smaller, because we've come from the outside expansiveness, yet the inner realms become larger and larger with finer and finer energy. Because all the vortexes are touching one another, we exist in the awareness of them all. We are everywhere and everything. We can experience different levels of energetic soup. It's all a matter of what dimensions we can focus on or hold to with our vibrational awareness. We can reverse the process. If we pull ourselves back out, we can return to see the bubbles. And if we insert energy with our mind into the bubble, it becomes more than it was. It begins to rotate like a torus, with perpetual energy flowing in and out. So now we have yet another new level of existence, made and supported by the previous. Grasping these constructs with the mind is not easy. Let go of thinking and trying to understand. Instead, feel the understanding. Experience it as if you already knew it. Know the feeling. You will have had it before in the stillness. Bring to your mind's eye the energetic soup. As we focus on it, it swells in size until it encompasses all of us. It has no density, but sustains us. It has always been around us, but now you see it. Each of us can interact with another person separately or in a group. This is our experience of separation. If we live within the energy, we can then interact with one another through that energy. In that way, the feeling is different. You will be all of the group and all of the all, yet you are still you. The more and varied connections we make to this energy, the more connected we will feel.
What I think you will think. Determination of the different levels of instant knowing will depend upon your conscious ability to listen, desire to listen, and the intensity of the communication. Of course, the more of you as a group that hear this, the better. Because as you think about the words I say, or as you receive them, you focus upon them. This, in turn, intensifies the modulations and enhances greater connectivity with others. Consciousness, focus, and programs are energetic. They are very much a part of that dimension and what you consider to be physical. It is a combination of bubbles that create the interactive points or constituent parts that make up atoms as you perceive them. Do not forget that you and your earth consciousness inhabit them at that level. You are also them. The bubbles and you are also part of the flux, and in turn these all modulate on and off. So the atom itself also pulses in predetermined shapes, to physical laws as you see them, but to a program as we see it. Has anyone questions?
It takes a lot to understand it.
That says maybe. The program or information field can affect the modulation of the bubble, yet the bubble is the information as well as the presentation of it. Information informs the creation. It is part of source and the energetic soup.